All right, we're going to try to get your group up.
Fill them in.
You guys come on in and fill in right up here. Can you bring it right back here? Yeah, you can sit at this way. Come on, baby. You can sit at that table as well. Come on, baby. All right, everyone else.
Fill up this table.
OJ, you and Melvin not gonna cut up, okay? Do you understand me? And Melvin, and one thing out of you, you getting out of here. You heard me. Oh, y'all play too much. Come on in.
I'll leave it.
Oh, they can. All right, let's make it. What happened? Come here, baby. Come here, babies. Come here. Y'all can sit right over here if you want to. Okay. No, I know if you sit over there, you're going to do that. Come on. I'm going to escort your feet. Come here. Well, I put them over there so they can get first-hand entertainment. Yeah, entertainment. Yeah. You can go ahead and sit here if you want. Thank you guys all for being here. I'm Mr. Robinson. Again, for those of you that I've not formally met, I'm Mr. Robinson, proud principal here at Campbell Middle School, home of the #1 Spartans. Woo! We're here to get you guys excited about a brand new, it's not a brand new program, but it's something that's going to be exclusive to Campbell Middle School this year. So the Daytona International Speedway is now rolling and revamping the Winner's Circle Victory Lane program. And this program is designed to be a school-wide incentive program for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So as you know, we have some 6th, some 7th, and 8th graders here today to to kick off this program. At the end of the year, there will be a celebration for the winners of the program. So as of today, everyone is now going to be a part of and competing to be the grand prize winner for your respective grade levels. So here's the criteria for participation in this program. And then I'm going to tell you what you can win if you win it. The criteria is you have to be in school 95% of the time. I think that's pretty easy because as a school average, students attend school here more than 95% of the time. So I think we're all in good shape there. The second thing is you have to have all A's, B's, and C's with no 2s in conduct. And I think that is also pretty attainable. You can control your behavior, so as long as you do your part in the classroom, as well as around campus, everyone will still be in good shape. There is also going to be a teacher recommendation. So you're going to be asking your teachers, any one of your teachers, to write you a recommendation for the Winner's Circle Victory Lane program. So it could be the current teacher whose class you're in now. It could be any of your classroom teachers. The last and final criteria is going to be, you're going to need to write a 150-word, which is not a lot, 150-word essay that addresses the question, what is one thing you would change if you were the principal at Campbell Middle School? So I know everyone has that one thing that they would like to see. For some of you, it was being able to walk in the courtyard. So I noticed when you got to school today, you probably saw there were no barricades blocking the courtyard. And it was kind of funny, I guess kind of weird. Some of the students asked me, wait, can we walk across it? And it was like, yeah, you can walk across the courtyard. So that may have been one of the things that you would have changed if you were the principal. So that's one of those things that you're going to do. Now, the person that wins is going to, well, actually, I don't want, should I be the person saying that? Okay. So a sixth grader, a seventh grade, and eighth grade, we're going to have a grand prize winner. But there will be 20 students from 6th, 20 students from 7th, and 20 students from 8th that will get a tour at the Daytona International Speedway. So that's for 20 students in 6th, 20 and 7th, 20 and 8th. So you guys can be a part of that. And then the grand prize winners from each grade will be receiving tickets to an actual race. So I don't know if you've ever been to one of the races. I've had the fortunate pleasure of attending one, and it is really, really exciting. So hopefully you guys will get excited about that. But enough about me being up here talking. We're going to get the important people up to speak. So the first person we're going to have is Mr. Chip Weil. Mr. Weil is the president of the Daytona International Speedway. Mr. Weil is a native of Atlanta, Georgia. He holds a bachelor's degree in communication from the University of Georgia. He's married to his wife, Catherine, and they have 3 children. Twin boys, Rigsby and Woodson, and they have a daughter, Jane Alice. Mr. Weil serves as president of the International Speedway Corporation flagship motorsports facility, Daytona International Speedway, DIS. As the president, Mr. Weil oversees all speedway activities, including event entertainment, fan amenities, and ticket sales. He assumed this role in April of 2016, so he's been there since 2016. At this time, can we give a warm welcome to Mr. Chip Weil?
How is everyone this morning? Good. That's not very good. How's everybody this morning? Good. God, we're working the Speedway. It's loud there. We need y'all to be loud. So for 28 years, we've been doing this program, and we've been taking it to Volusia County high schools, right? So we've been talking to 9th through 12th graders about opportunities to be leaders, right? Be a leader, come out, and we will reward you for being a leader. And we felt like it was time to revamp the program, and there's not a better school in Daytona Beach than Campbell Middle School. Campbell Middle School was actually named, it was named for Sir Malcolm Campbell, who had a ton of land speed records set here in Daytona Beach in the 20s and 30s. And it's fitting that we're coming here now to give you all the opportunity to shine, right? Being a leader is taking bold chances. Being a leader is doing things that others don't want to do, right? To stand out in front and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stand up here and show people the right way to do something. And this is an opportunity for each and every one of you to do that, to make a difference at Campbell Middle School. You let your voice be heard. And for doing that, you're going to get rewarded. Being a leader, you get rewarded, right? Sometimes being a leader is hard, but being able to stand out in front of everyone and say, I did this. I did the right thing. I told the people what the right thing to do is, and then I did it. You get rewarded for that. So we want you all to participate in this program. You'll get to see and do some really cool things out at the Speedway. How many of you have been out to the racetrack? Okay, not enough of you. We need you all to come out to the racetrack. Daytona International Speedway is an international icon. People all over the world know about our speedway, and it's in your backyard. It took me 4 minutes to get here today from the speedway. And we do a lot of really neat things over there that you probably don't even know about, right? Do y'all know that we're doing a lights display around Christmas? Yeah. Okay, well that's good. That makes me feel good. Do you know that we're having a rock concert there next April? Okay. Do you know that we host every Volusia County prom and homecoming at the Speedway?
No.
Right, so we do a lot of things for our community because the community is such a critical part of our DNA, right? When the France family decided to build that racetrack in 1959, they could have gone anywhere, and they lived here in Daytona Beach. They were proud Daytona Beach residents, so they invested billions of dollars over the last 70 years to ensure that Daytona International Speedway is the premier property in motorsports, not just in NASCAR. So we're really proud of it, and we want you to be proud of it, and we want to be able to show it off to you. You know, there's so many opportunities for you to be over at the Speedway in a number of different capacities. Do you know we own our own concessionaire, right? So we actually own and operate all the concessions that happen at the Speedway. And if you're interested in cooking, we have commercial kitchens over there that you can come over and check out, right? Do you know that we have our own public relations department? We interact with the media every day. If you're interested in communications, we have something for you there. If you're interested in being a mechanic, we have full-time mechanics that help us manage all of the stuff on property. There's really, it's an incredible operation and really something for everybody. So I would encourage you to be a leader and have the opportunity to come over and be a part of our great Speedway. And like the principal said, you also get an opportunity, if you win, to get tickets to some of our events. You know, that's a really, really unique opportunity for you, and I would encourage you to take advantage of it. Right? This is an opportunity for you to be a leader today. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over to the principal, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Can we give this a big round of applause, please? All right, next up, we're going to have a special guest. Mr. Davis, Christopher Davis. Let me just give you guys a little bit about Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis is a native of New Jersey. He attended high school in Washington, D.C., earning high school All-America and Washington, D.C. Player of the Year honors for his accomplishments in football. Pretty big guy. Mr. Davis received an athletic scholarship to attend Purdue and San Diego State Universities, where he earned his bachelor's degree of science in criminal justice. Subsequently to his undergraduate schooling, Mr. Davis received his postgraduate paralegal certification from the University of San Diego and has a master's degree in criminal justice from Boston University. Mr. Davis now serves as the Vice President and Chief Security Officer of NASCAR. He is responsible for leading strategic development and execution for corporate, facility, event security, and executive protection. Mr. Davis works closely with international, federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, the intelligence community, and collaborates with other professional sports associations on behalf of fans, venues, teams, and infrastructure. In this capacity, Mr. Davis has assumed leadership of NASCAR's enterprise-wide security strategies. I know Mr. Davis is going to share some great and unique things about himself with you. So at this time, can we please give a round of applause to Mr. Christopher Davis.
Thank you, thank you. How you guys doing? Wonderful. Can you hear me in the back?
Yes. We have a mic right there.
I like to project, but everybody's good in the back? You can hear my voice? Yes. Awesome. For the next 5 seconds, I'm going to ask each and every one of you in this room to close your eyes. Close your eyes, no peeking. And I want you guys to lock in on the dream that's inside of your head of what you want to be when you get older. I want you to focus on that for the next 5 seconds, and I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, two in one. Now you can open your eyes. Who wants to share that dream with us? Anyone? Yes, sir. What did you say? A veterinarian. Yes, sir. Author. Love it. Yes, ma'am. Surgeon. Fashion designer. Work in sports medicine. Yes, sir.
Studying reptiles.
Okay, reptile. You said reptiles?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone else? Yes, sir.
A teacher.
Teacher? Lawyer? Art surgeon, I'm sorry. Young lady in the back? Yes, yes. Awesome. That's awesome. There was a lady in the back. Awesome. Say it loud. Pediatrician, I heard.
All right, doctor.
Yes, I see somebody in the back.
Engineer.
Engineering. Let me just tell you this, and I'm sorry for those who I didn't get a chance to call on and those who are watching in your classrooms. What we're going to discuss today is the importance of dreaming, the importance of dedicating and committing yourself to that dream, which is going to challenge you because it's going to require tremendous effort and confidence and perseverance, because none of this is easy. But we're going to put together that pathway to achieving your dream. And we're going to use me as an example to show you that I'm not far from where you sit today. When I was your age, I grew up in North New Jersey, right across the river from New York City. I grew up inner city. I grew up poor. I grew up in a single-family home where my mother and my two other sisters lived with me. My two sisters and I shared a one-bedroom while my mother slept on a pull-out sofa. And we were what was described as latchkey kids. Kids that were protected by the locks that were on our door and the key chains, or the keys that I had on a chain on my neck. And when I would come home from school, I'd open up the door, I'd go inside, click, 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 and then I'd get on the phone and call my mom, Mom, I'm home, do your homework, I'll be home later, and that's how we lived our lives. We were money poor, but we were love rich. And although we didn't have everything that we wanted, we had everything that we needed. And even though my father wasn't in my house, he was very much in my life. And the reason why I asked you to dream is because that's the prevailing thing that kept me on that pathway towards what I call success. As I was a younger kid, and I locked in on dreams. And those dreams kept me focused, kept me on this narrow path, and guided me. Now, each and every one of you, or many of you, shared your dreams, and I know others have the dream inside your head, and those who are watching on television in your classrooms are thinking about that which you want to become. But I'm going to tell you something. When I was younger, you know what I wanted to be? Anyone?
Football player.
Football player. I wanted to be a football player. And when I shared my dream with my friends and those around me, just like you did, guess what happened? They laughed at you. But I'm going to tell you, I was blessed with some beautiful people that were surrounding me throughout my life. And not just the ones in my home, my mother and my sister, but my father, my teachers, my coaches, because they believed in me. And that belief served as super supreme unleaded fuel in this engine that drove me towards my dream. So all of those people that laughed at me, I learned one thing. The voice that is inside of your head has to be louder than any voice outside of your head. And regardless of what other people think, the most important person in this equation towards success or towards dream achieving is you. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Okay? So all of those people that laughed, right? They laughed. It didn't define me. It didn't stop me. It actually motivated me. Because I'm here to tell you guys, I don't want you spending your life on trying to prove other people wrong. I want you to commit your life to always proving yourself right. PYR. Prove yourself right. Regardless of what circumstance you come from, there's a dream, right? And there's beauty in dreaming. Dreaming allows you to make that dream important, and it gives you the confidence and the commitment to stay on the path regardless of distractions. I had distractions in my life. I didn't have money. I didn't have the things I wanted. People used to make fun of me because of the shoes that my mother was able to buy, right? They weren't the glamorous shoes that you get in stores or the ones now that you can order online. But that didn't deter me. So as we move through life and we try to set our dreams and we set our goals, let me ask you in this room, what happens when you achieve your goal?
People start coming up to you and try to be your friend. Back in.
You go further places in life.
Speak up a little bit louder.
You go further places in life.
You go further places in life? Absolutely. What happens when you achieve your goal?
People try to come back to your life that doubted you.
Speak up just a little bit louder.
People try to come back to your life that doubted you.
Okay.
They knew life.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Say it again now.
Make another dream.
Can you stand up, please? Can you say that louder?
Make a new dream.
Once you achieve your dream and your goal, you make a new dream, right? Thank you. Thank you for saying that and sharing that. What you just said has defined my life. Remember, I was a young person that wanted to be a football player, right? An athlete. Just by a show of hands, how many of you have ever met an athlete, male or female, that can play sports forever? That can play sports forever.
Forever.
And ever. 70, 80, 90, 100 years old.
Get old.
That animal does not exist.
That's right.
So as important as it is for me to want to have that dream to become an athlete, my parents always reminded me that you can't do that forever. And so that when you achieve a goal, particularly in sports, you have to set a new one to become something else in life. Because the sports life is short, the life is long. So guess what I had to do when I achieved my goal, guys? I had to reinvent myself yet again. But I'm going to tell you something, I was prepared for that moment. And here's why. Because when I was searching and climbing and clawing and doing things early in the morning and late at night that others weren't committed to do to achieve my first goal, my mother told me that if you ever want to play sports, you're going to clean your room, you're going to get good grades, you're going to be a good brother to your sisters and a great son to me and your dad, you're going to be a great citizen in this community, and you're not going to get in trouble.
All right.
Those are the rules. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. I wanted it so bad that I followed the rules. And I studied. I stayed out of trouble. And I was that good kid. How many of you think it's easy to become a professional athlete in any sport? Anybody? You think it's easy? It's extremely hard. And only the small percentage of people in life get a chance to realize that dream. But I'm going to tell you something. Here's what we're going to talk about in terms of allowing you to get to your dream. I'm going to give you the equation towards that success. Who has shoes on that have shoestrings? Okay? Now, keep your hands up. Who's the baddest? Well, that's a word we used when I was coming up. Who's the best shoe tire in this room? Who is the best shoe tire? There can only be one. I hear a lot of hands, but I want to see the best. Who's the best shoe tire in this room? Young man in this blue jacket, can you come up here, please? Can you sit right down in either one of these chairs? You pick one. Untie one of your shoes. And I need your best effort. I need your best effort. Okay, here you go. Now, just by a show of hands, this is your classmate. How many of you think he can tie his shoes in 10 seconds? How many think he can tie his shoes in 9 seconds? 8, 7, 6, 5. We're gonna lock in right there. Awesome. It's all right. Listen guys, hold on. Pressure is self-imposed. I want you to choose this opportunity to challenge and conquer your self-doubt, right? This is a joyous adventure into the realms of your own excellence, trusting and knowing that you will act powerfully, successfully, and effectively, right? So when you put your hands on the shoes, we're going to count. And I just want you to tie it to the best of your ability as fast as you possibly can. Don't worry about the clock. All right? Here we go. Whenever you're ready. Awesome. 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 Give him a round of applause. No, you good. You good. That was awesome. Listen to this. Listen to this. We're not interested in perfect, ever. How many perfect games do you think I've ever played in sports in my life? 0. I've never been perfect, ever. But I've been really good. This young man was really good. And I'm going to tell you why he's really good. It's just like taking a test. It's just like preparing for a football game. It's just like preparing for life. Here's why he's really good. Because whether you know it or not, when he first started to tie his shoes, it was very complicated. A lot of moving parts, and he couldn't do it well. But the reason why he can do it well is because you do well what you do often. And this young man has tied his shoes over and over and over again, and he doesn't even have to think about tying his shoes. You can sit down, man. I appreciate you. This is the beauty of life, guys. How many of you think it's important to come to school every day? How many of you think it's important to do your homework every day? Let me just share this with you. If you needed life-saving surgery, would you want to be operated on by a surgeon who did his homework some of the time or all of the time?
There you go. That's what I'm
If you're
talking
traveling
about.
on an airplane and there's tremendous turbulence, and that pilot has to land that plane in fog, in bad weather, would you want to be on the plane with a pilot who did his homework some of the time or all of the time? All the time. I'm going to tell you guys, the secret to your success is right here in this room. It's right here in this classroom, and it's right there on that TV monitor for those of you who are not present here. We've got to do well what we do often. And once we do it over and over again, guess what? It becomes easy. How many of you have ever taken a test without studying? If we're honest, that might be a problem, right? But I will tell you, and I'll ask you this question. Do you think it's hard for me to play a football game without doing my homework? That's the difference between winning and losing, guys. It's critically important what I am telling you as we start to build the pathway toward the our dreams. I'm gonna give you this one story. My son is older now, 24, will be 25 next month. But when he was 11 years old, we were living in Canada. And he said, Daddy, we were watching the University of Miami play a football game. He said, Daddy, I want to go to the U. I said, dude, you want to go to the U? He said, I want to go to the U. I said, wow. I said, why do you want to go to the U? He said, because they're really good. I said, yeah, they're really talented. But I said, let me ask you something. Do you know what it takes to go to the U? University of Miami. University of Miami Hurricanes. So he said, no. I said, come here, baby. And we walked to the bottom of our stairs, looking up, and I said, stand right here and tell me what you see. His eyes immediately go to the top of the stairs. He says, I see the light switch, the picture, and the plant. I said, do you see anything else? He says, no, Daddy, I see the light switch, the picture, and the plant. I said, baby, are you sure? He says, Daddy, I see the light switch, the picture, and the plant. I said, dude, you don't see the steps? He said, let me tell you, I've worked with many wonderful women in my life, and they all see the light switch, the picture, and the plan. I am here to tell you that the recipe, the key ingredients in the recipe for success are these steps. Those are the true pathways towards achieving your goal, which is at the top of the steps. Your teachers are teaching you this every single day. And I don't think you give them enough credit for it. Do you know how important it is to be loved by somebody that doesn't have to love you? Anybody? Do you know how important it is to be believed in by somebody who doesn't have to believe in you? It's magnificent, guys. It's like that super supreme unleaded fuel, not that regular stuff that we can get. It's that super supreme unleaded fuel that is poured over top of you to make your engines run. And I want you to never forget that. So let me talk to you in a continuation of my story. I finished football. Was my dream achieving over? No. I planned a new goal, just like this young man said. What was my new goal? Anybody? My new goal was to become an FBI agent. Guess what? Guess what? I achieved that one too. You think it's hard to become an FBI agent? You think it takes commitment and perseverance and all of those things that I needed to develop when I wanted to be that football player? I was in the FBI for 23 wonderful years, rising from a special agent to the highest level, which is called Senior Executive Service. Out of 38,000 employees, only 287 could be a senior executive, and I was one of them. And I'm very proud of that. When people ask me, what's the greatest thing you ever did in the FBI? What's the greatest investigation? It has nothing to do with that. The greatest thing I ever did in the FBI is not to forget where I came from.
All right.
And to reach out to young people like yourselves and uplift you and encourage you to achieve the same level of greatness. So I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause because you're doing it good work. Now let me ask you this, can a person be an FBI agent forever? No. Cannot. At a certain point you have to retire. That dream was over. What did I do? I made a new dream. And that dream was to become the first ever Vice President and Chief Security Officer of NASCAR. Not the next one, not another one, the first one. And I'm honored to hold that position right here down the street. I can tell you that NASCAR and all of these wonderful people that represent NASCAR who are here and present, who put this program together, believe in you. We want to see you successful. We want to teach you the pathways to greatness, to achieving your dreams. And this program is a small part of that. Is it competitive? Yes. But just like I told you, to become a professional athlete or an FBI agent is not easy. You've got to commit yourself, work on it, avoid distractions, stay on the proper path, and greatness is at the end of your journey. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time and attention today. I can't tell you how proud I am to be here and how much I believe in what you do and who you are. I want you to never allow anyone to put a ceiling on your dream, to limit your talent. I want you to commit yourself to being the greatest person that you are capable of being. Is that fair? Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all that you are, all that you do, all that you do.
All right, guys, so as you guys probably came in, you saw that there was a car out front. So throughout, this morning, there were students that were looking at the car, kind of peeking in. That is definitely welcome and accepted, but there will be more. Like Mr. Davis said, you guys control your destiny. I think he mentioned a lot of great things in his speech, but the one thing that I would really, really identify, that I identify with, be your best self. You don't have to worry about competing against anyone else other than yourself and just doing the best that you can do. Sometimes I can tell you, like Mr. Davis, luckily for me, I have a son who's 20 years old who actually is a professional baseball player. And as a part of that, I've been in the school system, I've been an administrator, been a teacher, but I never really forced my son to be a straight A student. What I told my son was, do the best you can do, always, in everything that you do. Yes, he played football, he played basketball, ran track, played baseball, and he actually got signed by the Milwaukee Brewers out of high school. But I never told him he had to play sports. I told him, I said, his name is Cameron Robinson, the same as mine. I said, look, man, play sports, have fun, but when you stop having fun, stop playing. And I would tell him, do the best you can do in all of your classes, and if you're in algebra, geometry, he took calculus in high school, and I would say, if a B is the best you can do, I'm good with that. If a C is the best you can do, I'm good with that. But I'm not good with you getting a B in PE. You're an athlete. You're going to dress out every day, and you're going to get an A because he's an athlete. But for someone who is not necessarily an athlete, a B or a C may be the absolute best you can do in PE, but you're great in geometry, and you can get an A in there, or pre-algebra, or algebra, or civics, or U.S. history. So I would challenge you to be the best you. The criteria for this program was something that I chose. And I chose it because I believe every student can achieve it. The criteria is not you have to get all A's. The criteria is not you have to get all B's. The truth of the matter is you can get all C's and still be selected as one of the top students. As long as you don't get any 2s in conduct, which means you follow the rules. Now, this morning, there was a new procedure. You follow the rules. You adapt to change, and you make sure that you are following the rules. So there are things that you can do, and then, like I said, the last criteria is, what would you do differently? What would you change if you were the principal here at Campbell Middle School? And I'm sure everyone can think of the one thing they can change. Now, the great part about being the principal is I am going to read them. And while I don't know all of your names, if one of you writes something that's really, really cool and really, really unique, don't be surprised if I don't come to you, I'll come to you and say, hey, I like your idea, let's try it. Because for me, I'm all about trying new things. I'm all about figuring out ways to improve this school. So if you have an idea and you see me out and about, please share with me your ideas. Because together we can do great things, and I think that's what this program is all about. Molding leaders who are doing great things to improve not only Campbell Middle School, but to improve yourself. So I want to thank all of you guys for being attentive. I want to thank you guys for listening. You guys were very, very, very well behaved. You guys did the right things in here, and it's kind of, it makes me proud. Because the truth of the matter is, there's people that will think you can't do it, and I can see 120 students in here that can really, really do it the right way. So thank you guys for being on your best behavior, and Ms. Monroe?
So we would like everybody to be in a picture over by the car, so on our way out, as you guys leave, tuck in your chairs unless we need something else said. Jessica?
Okay, so
Okay.
we're gonna have to do this definitely in an orderly manner. So we're gonna take a picture by the car. All right. So what that means is there's gonna be 120 of us. So we can't all run around and play around. We have to really be strategic about the way we go out, and that is orderly, so we can do it quickly. So I think, Mr. Rushing, you're right. Your class is right here closest, so you can kind of get your class going. And then teachers, as the classes go, make sure you bring